Welcome back, everyone! Welcome back to Little Shop of Nerds, as the great podcast about everything nerd related. My name is Mike.
I'm Julia.
Alright, today's hint is...
Oh crap, I forgot to...
No, I remember it. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Bank accounts are a scam created by the shadow government. See?
I completely forgot to have that up and ready to go.
Alright.
When we What a great way to start this episode, huh?
Yeah, alright. Yes, today we are going to be talking about the newest show that came out to Amazon Prime. And you might know it from the pilot on YouTube, the pilot started on YouTube, and I think, the creator, that's how she got the show lit. You might know it as the HAZBIN Hotel. It's a new adult cartoon on it. Like I said, it came out, this year or so?
Yeah, it came out and it started on Amazon Prime Video in January of this year, I think it was.
2023?
Oh, that was last year because it's 2024 now.
Well, no, it started in
Okay, let me...
Okay, the date.
So the pilot came out in 2019.
Uh-huh.
And then season 1 came out in 2024. So January of 2024.
So it came out this year. So it's somewhat new. So, like I said, one of our friends that we work with, he kept telling us, "Hey, you guys got to watch and do a review on it." And we were like, nah. We didn't think about it at the time. We were like busy trying to get everything else. And he's like, "No, you got." And one day he's telling me, he's like, "You guys gotta watch it." So I'm like, all right, because So I watched it, and it's good. It's got some music. It's got some good, funny humor, especially if you're an adult, because this is one of those adult cartoons are not for kids. And it has musical numbers if you're a musical theater nerd out there like us, and whatnot.
Yeah, so I actually, when I first started watching it, I really didn't care much for it. I mean, it did get better as the season went on, but I thought the singing, the musical numbers were really Disney-esque.
Well,
how that makes sense?
Well, I think when I was watching it, I was like having it like, it's okay, sounds great, and like you said, it got better. Like you said, you didn't care for it. I thought it was like okay, but when I'm like, okay, it's starting to get a little better, picking up. I agree on the musical tone, but I wouldn't say much of Disney. More like a kind of like family Broadway, like Annie the Music Man, and until like it hits the part where Angel Dust is singing Poison, that's where we get to a little bit of the adult part of the musical, like Rent, or the part where Husk and Angel Dust are singing, Born Losers. And that's kind of like those buddy musicals that you hear, where the friend tries to cheer him up, but he's also insulting him.
Are you talking about the one from the 4th episode?
Yeah.
It's called Loser Baby.
Yeah, Loser Baby. Well, you know how he's like trying to cheer him up, but he's also insulting him? That's sometimes when you see in buddy musicals where they're trying to help each other, and they...
Kind of like what Stewie and Brian would do sometimes when they would do some of their songs.
Yeah, like, what was it, when they were traveling?
Road to Rhode Island, basically, and then when they were trying to go save Rupert.
That, and there was one with, traveling to Europe, where they were like, they were pretty much insulting each other with like a Dean Martin score, kind of like a Dean Martin or Bing Crosby score, if you have the sound. And but my favorite part of that line of that song, what Brian and Stewie did, was, I like a musical from a classical score. I like that singer that looks like a whore. Ricky Martin, love him.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
No offense, Ricky.
Anyways, I am going to admit right now that I completely zoned out during episode 3. I do not know what happened in episode 3 because I zoned out because I was bored. But I did get back into watching episode 4. And like at the time I wasn't invested to go back and rewatch episode 3. So I still to this day have no clue. All I remember is that we'll actually get to it, but I do want to talk. I haven't seen the pilot. I think I said that. Mike has. I haven't.
It's been a long time.
I will actually go and watch the pilot after this, probably. But basically, from what it says here, because I am on Wikipedia, and what it says about the pilot is the day after the latest extermination, Charlie, the Princess of Hell, pursues her seemingly impossible goal of rehabilitating demons to peacefully reduce overpopulation in hell. She opens a hotel in hopes that patients will be checking out, in quotations, into heaven. While most of hell mocks her goal, her devoted girlfriend Baggy and their first client, adult film star Angel Dust, stick by her side. When Alistair, a powerful entity known as the Radio Demon, reaches out to Charlie to assist in her endeavors, her crazy dream is given a chance to become a reality. So, apparently Mike's over here having some issues with my dog.
He's hogging the couch, and he's a small dog.
He does that. Look how cute he is, though.
Don't get fooled by those eyes.
That's Chewy's my little baby.
Yeah, he's a cute guy.
I love him. Anyway, so we're getting off topic, talking about my dog. Anyways, so like I said, I haven't seen it yet. So what I started watching this, I was just kind of like, I had no idea what I was getting into. So I was kind of surprised by the content, to be honest.
Oh yeah, especially with a lot of fucks, a lot of ass, and a lot of fucking BDSM, SM, and everything from coke to alcohol.
Yeah, there was so much, like, there was so many sexual innuendos, that type of thing.
And like, most of the stuff was coming from Angel Dust and Adam.
Yeah. I fucking hate Adam. Now my favorite character is, oh god, what was her name?
Nifty?
Nifty, yes. The little maid girl. I don't think she's a little girl.
Well, she's just small.
She's small and she likes to stab things.
Stabs and cleans.
Okay, I hate to clean, but I love to stab things.
So that means you're a short little psychopath?
Yeah, I mean, I am short. And I kind of am a psychopath.
If you hear this, call the police.
Don't worry, I'm not that much of a psychopath.
She is, help. Alright.
Anyways, so the pilot, or the first episode starts a week after the pilot.
Yep.
And that's when you learn about the backstory of how Lucifer was an angel. He fell in love with Lilith. And they gave the second woman, Eve, the gift of free will, inadvertently creating hell, where Lucifer and Lilith were banished by heaven. So, eventually they had, Charlie.
The little cute house behind.
She is really cute.
I
I like her design, her character design.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's given the backstory, and then she talks about the extermination, about how it's just to, they got to keep the people in hell in line. What?
That's funny because how everyone's acting.
Yeah, I know. Like, there's a lot of
stabbing,
killing, sex, all that. So, Charlie does end up getting, it says that as Hell is still recovering from the last extermination. Charlie mentions that she has not seen or heard from Lilith in 7 years.
Yep.
Which, by the last episode, we know exactly where Lilith is, and we will get into that.
That ends with a twist, bro.
Yeah. So, she then does receive a call from her father, who asks her to take his place at the annual meeting in heaven. She goes. She tries to pitch her idea of the HAZBIN Hotel, and it's ignored and laughed at. And Adam reveals that the next extermination will happen in 6 months rather than a year. And then Vaggie, which is, Charlie's girlfriend.
She's trying to make a commercial with everyone in the hotel, trying to get everyone to come to the hotel. And she's not getting anyone's help, and she asks Alistair. And now, Alistair is one of my favorite characters, and people's like, well, he is a psychopath, but here's the thing. He's a guy that's so wrapped in mystery that you don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
I mean, to be honest, I kind of liked him too.
He's also sarcastic as hell. And he's just like one of those guys, he's like, wants to be sarcastic a little most of the time.
So, fun fact, people, Mike is sarcastic as hell. Well, he can be. I mean, we're sarcastic to each other all the time.
Yeah, but I'm more grumpy. Alistair is more chipper.
Well, I mean, that just might be because he's the radio demon.
Well, that too.
I mean, oh yeah, so there's also this TV demon named Vox.
Change the F to an F, you get Fox.
Yeah.
That's kind of... No, that is kind of clever if you look at it.
Oh my god, Mike.
I know, but it is kind of clever how it's saying Vox. And I'm like, okay, clever word. I'm like, okay, clever wordplay. I get it. They're the demon. They're the devil. We get it.
I mean, all news places are the demons or devils.
Well, truth be told, every political news station, they're like Fox, CNN,
MSNBC.
They're all the devil.
Yeah, I agree.
They give too many answers at so many times you don't know which one's the truth.
That's true. We're not going to get into that, though, because we don't want to talk about politics on this channel.
Trust me. Besides that, they're, like I said, they, Vaggie get that.
Vaggie.
I'm sorry.
We will get into that a little bit later.
But still, Vaggie, asks Alistair for help. He does, so he pretty much makes a set, and it looks like an old 1930s set, and Vaggie is dressed as like a 1930, maybe was a Southern Belle or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. See, the thing, though, is that when the episode started, we did see, like, a commercial that he had helped produce. But Charlie didn't really like it because I think she said it was too dark or something like that.
It was like, it wasn't seeing their expectation because, wasn't Angel Dust is at the bar, and she's like, oh, yeah, Daddy. And she's like, I'm like, oh, my fuck.
Yeah, so, because... Alistair being the radio demon and not a video demon, he's just like, well,
he's like,
my skill is in radio and not film, basically.
Well, he even says this face is only made for radio. When Vaggie tries to record his face and something happened.
Yeah. Like, he did give her, so Vaggie tried to make the commercial by herself, and then she asked for help from Alistair, and then Alistair did help, and then, Charlie comes back completely kind of disappointed that her meeting with Adam didn't go the way that she wanted. And then it did turn out that she, they made the radio or made the commercial. They were going to show the commercial. Unfortunately, the commercial got cut short by a news broadcast talking about how the extermination was moved up
to 6 months. But here's the thing: before we go a little, the news broadcast lady, was it Katie Killjoy or whatever?
Something like that, yeah.
That voice who voices her is known as Brandon Rogers. If you guys know who he is, he's the guy. He's a famous YouTuber. Does a lot of funny skits, a lot of dark and just I like crude skits.
My favorite one was the one where he was a mother, and she always had like a mug of coffee, and she was drinking it, and she was like going to like different places, and she went to a Dollar Tree and she grabbed like a bunch of he, just dressed as a woman, so just says she, going around and grabbing a bunch of items, grabbed some of those balloons and was like, I'm gonna shove these up my ass. And then like she's like, wait, where's the baby? And the baby's like getting hit in the head. It's on the floor. It's a fake baby. It's a baby doll. And the baby was on the floor and the doors were opening and closing on the baby's head. And then turned to find out that it wasn't coffee, it was cocaine or some sort of drugs. And the ending to that skit was kind of dark.
Yeah, it was.
But his stuff and Trevor Wallace's stuff, and Long Beach Griffey, their stuff makes me laugh every single time I see it.
Yeah, and like I said, after that, they got cut short. You see Adam, the douche nozzle, and before we, I want you to picture a picture. You know how there's a Chad and a Kyle? That's morphed together into a one big giant douchebag, pretty much. He acts like he's almighty because he's in heaven. But besides that, they go around, and this is where it gets kind of cool. They found a body of an angel.
Yeah.
Headless.
Yeah. So Adam's second in command, her name is Lute. And Lute is the one that found the dead exterminator. Says Lute finds the corpse of an exterminator killed in hell and shows Adam, and the two plan to kill every demon in hell during the next extermination. So the musical numbers in this one was called Happy Day in Hell and Hell is Forever.
Hey, I give him props trying to say doing a positive musical in hell. You're in hell. I'm like, I give that prop. So
yeah, the name of this episode was called Overture of the first episode. So the second one is called Radio Killed a Video Star. And this is when
And if you never heard of Video Killed the Radio Star, there is a song by the Buggles called that.
Yeah. So this one actually,
that is so true though. If you look at it, think it started out as radio, then we went to MTV, and now we're going straight to phones.
MTV?
Yeah, that's how. Remember during the 80s and 90s, that's how we got to watch music videos.
Yeah, but I mean, you could have just gone to like some random website and watch music videos there too.
Yeah, but this is 90s and 80s, so it was hardly invented yet.
First, okay, computers started coming out in like the 70s.
Yeah, we know that.
Okay.
I'm talking about internet mostly. But now we can actually watch music videos on our phones.
Yeah, by going to YouTube.
Yeah. So think about this.
Because MTV doesn't show music videos anymore. Hey, MTV, you suck ass now.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. We were radio. Then we went to MTV, which killed radio. Then YouTube came along, killed MTV.
MTV killed itself by showing nothing but reality TV.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Okay, no one wants to sit there and watch like 50 hours of 16 and Pregnant or Teen Mom
or that fucking, what was that fucking
Jersey Shore and
what was it? There was a show of,
I don't even remember the name of the show.
There was a show where people go get tattoos, but here's the thing: they were blind, like they blindfold them or give these glasses that you couldn't see, and their friend, loved one, or ex, whatever they did, they give them a bad tattoo, sometimes good, sometimes a bad tattoo, trying to teach them a lesson. I'm like, that is fucked up, and I would never do that.
Mm-hmm. There was another one. They made it. Okay, you remember that Robot Chicken episode with Metropolis, where they were all living?
Oh yeah, they were making fun of the real world.
Real world, that's what it was. Yeah, that one was stupid too. Okay, every freaking stupid ass reality TV show that they showed on MTV was dumb as fuck. And now MTV is going downhill because they don't show music videos anymore. And it's called music television, okay?
I think
start showing fucking music videos again.
I think we just went off track with ADHD here.
We really did. Okay, let's get back on track.
No offense, no offense to people who have it. I think I have it a little.
I do. I definitely have ADHD.
Well, okay. What we're on?
Anyway, so
episode 2.
Yeah. So every single episode has 2 musical numbers. So the musical numbers for this one is called "Stayed Gone," and it starts with "Sorry." So, there is a trio of powerful overlords, which is they're called the V's, VEE, and it includes Vox, Valentino, and Velvet.
I tell you, Valentino is a fucking asshole.
He really is. We will get more into why he's an asshole when we talk about episode 4. But Valentino is actually Angel Dust's boss. Yes. So he's the one that does all the porn stuff. We should probably call it corn.
Come on, not that whole YouTube guideline thing.
I mean, we're not getting monetized for this, so why the fuck not?
But here's the thing: it's like, why corn? Why is porn becoming that much of a bad, dirty word than fuck?
Yes.
Because
you're really not supposed to say fuck either.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're still small. I mean, we only got like 41 subscribers, so it probably wouldn't affect us. But like once we start to get bigger and we start to get monetized, we won't be able to say that anymore.
But here's the thing: it's freedom of speech.
It is freedom of speech, but we're getting off track again.
All right, but like I said,
trying to talk about this, and we keep getting off track.
Okay. Yes, Angel Dust is pretty much of a porn star. He likes to. And before you ask or what, to me, we don't care about his sexual identity. He's just hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And
Angel Dust is another one of my favorite characters.
Because he's like one of those guys who just pushes your buttons just to. Because kind of reminds it's kind of like a thing that you see with those coworkers. He tries to push your buttons just doing the.
Angel Dust has 4 arms, but he also has a third set of arms that he keeps hidden away, which we didn't see until the last episode.
Yeah, and pretty much he's pretty much trying to ignore his boss's text messages.
I think I don't think we're at that point right now.
Okay, either way, what happens is.
Okay, so Vox tries to send a warning to Alistair because he finds out that Alistair is back after 7 years.
Yep.
So then they send this other demon named Serpentius to spy on the hotel. They send Serpentius. Serpentius tries to fight Alistair, gets his ass beat. And then Sir Pinchus comes back as a guest. And then as he was getting adjusted to the operations of the hotel, Angel Dust started to feel saddened that Charlie wouldn't believe that he could change. Because at that point, they were starting to focus all of their attention on Sir Pinchus. And I actually did kind of feel a little bit bad for Angel Dust, because he's just like, I was here first, so why aren't you guys paying attention to me? Or why aren't you paying attention to both of us? Like, why is it just him?
And I can see that, but also it's just like when it gets close to the end, you do feel sad for Pinchus. And here one thing is I like about Sir Pinchus, he kind of reminds me of that dude who tries to be like the Cobra Commander from Robot Chicken.
We're getting off track. That's not.
No.
That's not until the last episode.
No, that's just how Pinchus sounds.
Mm-hmm.
No, because he says "see."
Yeah. Oh, which fun fact: the voice actor for Sir Pinchus is also the voice actor for Adam.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's common mostly in voice acting.
It come to find out that he was trying. They did find out that he was trying to spy.
Yes.
Angel Dust and Vaggie wanted to kill him, but Charlie forgives him and gives him a second chance, because then they see that Fox was yelling at him for failing. Sir Pinchus apologizes for his deceit and decides to become a true patron at the hotel.
Yes, and one thing about Sir Pinchus is he's got minions that are pretty much eggs.
Yeah, which we will actually talk about that in this next part.
Alright, let's go. Number 3.
So episode 3 is called Scrambled Eggs, and the musical numbers in this one is Respectless and Whatever It Takes. Now, this is the one that I have no idea what happened, because I zoned out. Like, I remember seeing, like, the first part, and then I remember seeing, like, the ending of it, and then I was just like, I remember nothing from in between.
Well, I think what it is, this is where what happens. I do know in the episode, what was it? It's pretty much the normal day at the hotel. Everyone tried to get to trust each other. Pinchus building a machine because he didn't trust people because they think they're pretending to be nice. Then, was it Vaggie asked, hey, take Pinchus's eggs, get rid of them because it'd be a bad idea. And he takes them along, tries to get rid of them, but he finds...
he runs into an ancient overlord, Zestiol, who invites him to a meeting for the overlords of hell.
And he tells the eggs to stay put. One of them falls in, listens into the meeting, and here's what happens. All the bunch of overlords are there having the meeting. Picture kind of like the 5 families of the Godfather meeting, discussing stuff. But here's what happens, Miss Carmine, like the biggest overlord.
Carmilla Carmine is her name.
Pretty much.
Kind of like reminds me of like a ballerina.
Yeah, she did have like a ballerina attires. Like, she had, like, her ballet shoes were pretty much deadly.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're pretty much talking about what to do for the next extermination. And what was the one of the V's, the female one that's British.
Mm-hmm.
Fox.
Oh, Velveeta?
Velveeta. Yeah, it's Velveeta.
Or Velvet, I think is actually what it is. Velvet.
Well, Velvet comes, throws an angel's head onto the table, and they're like trying to, see how the hell happened here. And she's like, you know what happened, and if we can kill him, means we can do it. And Miss Carmine's like, no, we shouldn't. And one of the others is like, no, it's not true, whatever. And that's when they sing the song Respectless, which is kind of like, I kind of like the song. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it says that the idea is shot down by Zestiol as a war would lead to more deaths. Velvet insults Zestiol, but is kicked out by Overlord Carmilla Carmine, who controls Hell's weapon supplies. Carmela reveals that she killed the exterminator to protect her daughters, which is overheard by one of the egg minions.
And, like, when they were leaving, Alistair sees the egg. He's like, I got an idea, because they didn't notice he was there. So, they told him, hey, go spy on Miss Carmine, and they did, and they told what happens. He sings another song, and at the end of the day, Alistair brings back the eggs. And here's one thing about Pinchas. He really loved his egg minions.
Yeah. So while this is all going on, Vaggie and Charlie are doing trust exercises. And it just doesn't. However, and then, Charlie tells Vaggie that she feels like Vaggie is going too far in her methods. The two talk it out and discover their friends bonded over the experiences Vaggie put them through. So, in the end, though, Sir Pinchas was able to keep his eggs. And his egg, the one that hurt everything,
which Alistair told keep secret.
He mentioned it, and Sir Pinchas just thought that he was just spouting off nonsense, and then just went to sleep because he's happy that he had his egg minions back.
Somehow he kind of treats them like fur babies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Angel Dust has a pig as a pet.
I think he calls it Fat Nuggets.
Something like that. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's a little funny.
Yeah.
But besides that, that's the end of episode 3.
Yeah. So episode 4 is called Masquerade, and this is where this has my favorite song in it. It's called Poison.
Mm-hmm.
So the songs for this one is Poison and Loser Baby, which is one of Mike's favorite songs.
Oh yeah, and one of the character is gonna have in is called a guy named Husk. Looks like a cat with wings.
He's like I thought he was a moth because his name was Husk.
I thought it was a husky because he kind of looked like a husky.
But according to the fandom wiki page, he is a cat with wings.
And he's voiced by Keith David. And if you guys,
I mean, we see Husk though, like throughout the other episodes.
So yeah,
but this one he has more of a prominent role. I think.
And he is voiced by Keith David. And if you don't know who he is, he played on. If you guys are from the '90s, watch Disney. You might know him from Gargoyles. He voiced Goliath, the leader of the Gargoyles. He also, I did not know, I forgot about this. He was also in Princess and the Frog.
Oh, that's who?
What was it? The professor, the voodoo witch doctor dude?
Oh, okay. Okay. The villain?
Yeah.
Oh.
And what's it? It's going to bother me, but I'm not going to look it up right now. If you know it, put it in the comments.
So, before we actually start talking about this, this one does have... There is a trigger warning for this one.
Yes.
Because this episode had a trigger warning because it dealt with sexual assault.
And also abuse, drug abuse, and... we want to make sure we want to keep this... We don't want to... We're not going to make any jokes on this. We'll try to restrain ourselves, but we also want to know anyone who ever went through this, please call a hotline, go to a shelter, or try to find someone you know. Do not, because this is... And before you say, no, they're never going to change, you got... If you leave and get help, that's when they need to realize they messed up.
And sometimes that doesn't always work.
And it won't. And,
so what we'll do for this part is we'll try to get through this as fast as possible, just so we don't end up triggering anybody, because that's the last thing that we want to do.
Sorry.
So basically, Angel Dust left the hotel to go film a porn film. For Valentino, while Charlie tries to shows up to try to bring Angel back to the hotel. He doesn't want to, it might actually just make it quicker and easier if I just read what it says here.
Good.
So, Angel Dust leaves the hotel to act in a porn film for his boss, Valentino. While shooting, Charlie arrives and tries to bring Angel Dust back to the hotel. But Valentino beats Angel Dust, reminds him that he owns Angel Dust's soul, and forces him to make her leave. Angel Dust continues filming and is constantly assaulted by Valentino and other workers. Returning to the hotel, he gets into an argument with its bartender, Husk, who had earlier accused him of being fake. Angel Dust leaves to go to a bar, followed by Husk at Charlie's insistence. Husk saves Angel Dust from being drugged by one of Valentino's workers, but Angel Dust lashes out at him for saving him, revealing that he purposely lets Valentino assault him so that when he is broken and ruined, Valentino will stop using him. Husk reveals that he was once an overlord whose gambling addiction led him to make a deal with Alistair to keep his power, trapping him in a similar situation to Angel Dust. At the hotel, Angel Dust thanks Charlie for caring about him, making her emotional. That's all that we're going to talk about for that episode because that was a pretty heavy...
It was really heavy on this one. So
moving on to episode 5.
Alrighty.
It's called Dad Beat Dad. And the musical numbers are called Hell's Greatest Dad and More Than Anything.
Yes, and this is about where Charlie, needs to try to talk to Heaven, try to get up to the big leagues, try to talk to him. Kind of like a corporate thing. And this is when they bring in Lucifer.
This is our first time that we have seen Lucifer on screen.
And he looks like Charlie.
Lucifer is actually kind of one of my favorite characters, too. Nifty is definitely number 1, though, on my list, because Nifty is just crazy.
And like I said, how can I say, the guy who voices Lucifer is, Jeremy Jordan. You might know him from Supergirl, The Flash, or anything from the CW. And he also was in Broadway shows. Anyways, he plays Lucifer, and Lucifer acts... How can I say this?
He kind of acts a little bit like Charlie.
Acts like Charlie. He's enthusiastic, but he can also be like a funny asshole. Because what was it? There was a part where he's introducing like Charlie's introducing Vaggie to him. He's like, "You love girls, so do I. We have in common."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my god, please stop."
Yeah. So he does go to the hotel because Charlie asked him to come visit. He does. He's not impressed. He clashes with Alistair. Then they are interrupted by Alistair's friend Mimsy, which I don't like Mimsy.
If you're hearing that, we got some ambulance going by, maybe somewhere.
Yeah, so if you guys hear that, I apologize. Hopefully you guys don't. So I didn't really like Mimsy.
And yeah, I didn't either. How can I describe her? She's dressed as one of those
1920s flapper girls.
And she's pretty much that friend, only shows up when she's in trouble, and she pretty much, she's like a friend to Alistair, and she only shows up when she's in trouble because Alistair will kill him or anything.
Husk actually brought that up with Alistair. And then Alistair brushes him off, but when Husk hints at Alistair owing a debt to someone, Alistair loses his temper and threatens to kill Husk if he steps out of line again. So his suspicions, though, about Mimsy are actually true, because several loan sharks showed up to...
And they are actually sharks.
Yeah, they show up to an attempt to find her. Alistair uses his powers to kill the loan sharks before forcing Mimsy to leave, not wanting the hotel to be damaged further.
Yes.
Lucifer reveals that he believes Charlie's plan is impossible because sinners are inherently evil and that heaven will never listen to her. This upsets Charlie, but they ultimately reconcile, and Lucifer agrees to arrange Charlie another meeting with heaven.
And they do, and they pretty much do it, and that's the end of the show.
Yeah, the episode anyway.
Episode, yes. So, episode. The next episode
is called Welcome to Heaven.
And this is where we get to know more about Vaggie and where she come from or what happened to her. And and was it Angel Dust's friend Cherry comes along, and we're going to see what they do in heaven and everything. And before that, I want to say the angels, they almost got it right what they actually look like from the biblical sense.
My favorite angel out of all the ones that were introduced was, her name was Emily.
Oh yeah, the really nice one.
Yeah, she was a younger seraphim, and then there was Sarah, who is the head seraphim. So they go to heaven. Adam and Luke confront Vaggie, which Adam calls her Vaggie, which is what Mike accidentally said earlier.
Come on, it's almost close to it.
But we find out that Vaggie was an exterminator.
I think it's Exodus.
What? No, she was a former exterminator angel who was stripped of her wings and left by Lute after sparing a defenseless sinner child.
Well, they say Exodus. And
that might be the name of maybe the thing, but I mean, it says here that she was an exterminator.
That's Wikipedia for you.
I mean, everything else has been pretty right so far.
Well, either way, they say exorcist, but either way, right? And Adam pretty much told Vaggie, "Hey, you need to tell her. You need to tell her to drop this, or I'm going to reveal who you are to her." And they have the meeting with the angels, and she's trying so hard to win them over, and they say no, there's no soul that can be redeemed that's from hell. And there's like, what does a soul have to do to be redeemed?
Yeah, and Adam gave her like some bullshit list, like selflessness, and like a couple of other things I can't remember. And so they're sitting there and they're watching Angel Dust, because that was, who Charlie has been working. Well, her and Sir Pinchas. But they go ahead and the trial begins by monitoring Angel Dust's actions as his friend Cherry Bomb takes him and the other hotel residents to a nightclub. While trying to save hotel maid Nifty from Valentino, Angel Dust stands up to him, saying that Valentino can do whatever he wants to him in the studio, but Angel Dust is his own man anywhere else. Charlie claims this is proof of Angel Dust being redeemable, but the angels themselves do not actually know how souls enter heaven. So while they're arguing over this, Adam accidentally reveals about the extermination. Now, none of the other angels knew about the extermination, except for Sarah, because Sarah's the head angel or something like that. She is, the head seraphim. She's the only one that knew about it besides Adam and then like the exterminator angels, because Sarah didn't want something like this to plague the other angels, so then she's taking the burden on all by herself. And the songs in this one are called Welcome to Heaven and You Didn't Know. And You Didn't Know actually turned out to be one of my other favorite songs, because that's the one where they were talking about like you basically knew what was going on, but so that's when Emily started to distrust Sarah, who knew about them and did not tell her. And then Adam tells Charlie about Vaggie being a former exterminator. Charlie's upset. Then the court finds that there is no evidence a sinner can be redeemed. Adam sends Charlie and Vaggie back to hell, promising that during the next extermination in a month, he will be coming for the hotel first. And that was the end of that episode.
Yes. And that's when we get to episode, what was it, 7?
I think so, yes. Episode 7 is called Hello, Rosie. And the musical numbers for this one is called Out for Love and Ready for This.
And this is where they pretty much Charlie's in a funk because what happened, and they need to go recruit people to help with the battle. And there was a part where was really funny, where one of the minions, he's like, talk about how someone can kill the angels can be killed, and they're like, Baggy's like, wait, you knew about this? It's like, they're saying crazy shit all the time. How did I know it's real?
He mentioned it to Sir Pinchus, and Sir Pinchus was like, oh, well, that was real? Oh, okay, oh shit.
And they're like, they're always saying crazy shit all the time. How did I know it was real? And he's like, and the egg's like, bank accounts are scam created by the shadow government.
Which is where our hint came into play. So, anyways, at this point, they reveal to the rest of the hotel that Vaggie used to be an exterminator, an angel. And Charlie is, like, completely distraught over this. Like, she's so upset because she's like, we've been together for, 3 years, I think it was? And you never mentioned it to me. And, Alistair took advantage of her mental state and forced her to make a deal with him. And Vaggie was pissed when she found out that she had made a deal with Alistair. And yeah, we don't know what it was, an unknown favor she will do for him later. He tells her that there is a way to kill the exterminators and that Carmilla Carmine knows how.
And like I said, she didn't sell her soul. He said not. He's like, I'm not selling my soul. And Vaggie's like, and when Vaggie saw her, he's like, it's like, no, I didn't steal her soul. She still has it. But I will have to do with a favor.
Yeah, so Charlie tells Vaggie to go to Carmine to learn how to kill the angels. And while that's going on, Alistair and Charlie go to this place called Cannibal Town to meet up with, Rosie, who is the overlord who runs the town. She talks to Rosie about what's going on, and she, tells her, well, I mean, you can talk to them and try to get them to join you in your quest, but you have to convince one of the cannibals, because all the cannibals seem to follow that one person. I think her name was Susan.
And
she's this little old lady that reminds me of the old woman from The Princess Bride.
Yeah, going, boo!
Yeah, that one that, was booing at Buttercup in her dream, where she's like, boo, you
whatever.
Gave up love, your true love still lives, but you're gonna marry another. That woman.
Yeah.
So this old woman from Cannibal Town, Susan, reminds me of that old woman from The Princess Bride.
And if you want to know what Cannibal Town looks like, it kind of reminds me of an early 1900s
Victorian era kind of town.
Yeah, early 1900s, late 1800s, and it's okay, that is clever.
Yeah, I really actually kind of liked that. So while Charlie is talking to the cannibals, Vaggie is fighting Carmilla because Carmine wasn't going to tell her at first. No. And then she did manage to convince her, so then she starts fighting her, and she's like, you wanted to learn how to kill the angels, right? I'm showing you now.
And she also mentions the only way to kill them is by using their weapons.
Yeah.
And since they always, and their weapons are spears or whatever they use, and they leave it after the battle, and pretty much Miss Carmine takes the weapons and pretty much, and here's the funny part, when she gets there, and she's like, you used to be an exorcist. I was like, how do you know? The X on your eye gives it away. Yeah,
so she has said that she killed the exterminator using angelic weaponry scavenged from past exterminations.
And she uses, and she didn't use Miss Carmine didn't use a spear. She used her shoes, which are made out of those.
Yeah. So, Vaggie actually regains her wings, and then Carmilla agrees to help the hotel by supplying them with angelic weapons. They both, Charlie and Vaggie, okay, so Charlie did manage to convince the cannibals to help. So then they were going to help because then they could eat as many of the angels as they wanted after they had killed them.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Charlie and Vaggie return basically at the same time. And they return to the hotel and they reconcile. And then upon entering the hotel, they are shocked to see the residents fortifying the hotel for the battle with the angels because Vaggie told them before she left, I won't blame you guys if you don't want to stay.
And
they stayed and they helped.
Then, now we're on the last final episode.
Yeah. So the musical numbers, if I didn't already say, is Out for Love and Ready for This. So this episode, the last episode of this season, is called The Show Must Go On. And the musical numbers are More Than Anything, which is is it reprise? Is that how it's pronounced? Reprise. And then the finale.
Yes, and pretty much this is what's happening. Everyone's getting ready for battle. The three V's are watching. And, after a while, the angels come, they get ready for battle. Everyone is fighting so hard. Alistair makes a giant force field, and they're like, "Sir, there's a shield up." He's like, and Adam's like, "Oh no, duh, maybe because there's a shield in the." I'm like, damn, dude, I may be a sarcastic asshole, but that was even meaner.
Yeah, so Charlie was actually worried that she was leading everyone to their deaths. But Vaggie convinces her to believe in herself. So then Sir Pentious now had a crush on Cherry Bomb. And he confessed his love to her, and then before that there was a fight between Adam and Alistair, and Alistair was badly wounded, and then Alistair disappeared. And Sir Pentious was like, okay, well, Sir Pentious ends up sacrificing himself after he confessed his love to Cherry Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had been trying to tell Cherry Bomb, in the episode where during the trial, Sir Pentious was trying to tell her how much he loved her, and how much he liked her and wanted to bang her, but
it was funny. And the funny part about in the bar, he's like, Miss Cherry, you want a drink? He's like, and she's like, why? She has a British accent, so she's like, why? And he's like, because I'm buying drinks for everyone. Yeah. Then she's like, you want to go? This thing has a sex room. You want to go? He's like, what? She's like, because I'm having sex with anyone.
And then these two guys come and drag Sir Pentious into a room and shuts the door.
But you know what's even funnier? They called that club Consent.
Oh yeah.
And
consent is remember, guys, if you're going to sleep with anyone, make sure you have their consent, and that they're not drunk or high or anything like that, and that you're both completely sober, and that they give their consent before you do anything.
Yes, but also, Sir Pentious shouldn't have said that out loud, because
he was given his consent.
But but still, and I'm like, dude, never say that in front of a people in a dungeon or anything.
One of the people because it looked like that he was going into a room with two other guys, and one of the guys looked like a furry.
Yeah, pretty much everyone was a furry in this cartoon.
Yeah. So, so after he confessed his love to her, he sacrificed himself and he died. And I felt bad. I was sad that he had died. And then she's freaking enraged. Charlie is, and she turns into her demon form. I didn't even know that she had a demon form.
Yeah, she had her horns and everything out. And
she starts to fight Adam.
And
Vaggie fought Loot.
Yep, and after that little, there was also a part where what was it? The Alistair was fighting Adam a little, but he was losing, and Fox was like, "Yes, you get me," and Alistair disappeared because he knew he was going to lose.
Yeah.
Then
Sir Pentious sacrificed himself, and then Charlie started to fight him.
And then Lucifer comes in, because he was ready to hurt his daughter. He's like, I'm here to fuck you. And he's like, Dad, it's fuck you up. He's like, what did I say?
Yeah, so, Baggy actually managed to crush Loot under some rubble, but it didn't kill her.
But no, she should.
She just, like, damaged her arm. So Loot tears her arm out to get out, and then continues to attack Baggy. And then Lucifer arrives to help Charlie and overpowers Adam. Adam destroys the hotel, and then Nifty stabs him. Because they gave her, like, a little knife and told her to go around and, like, stab the angels. So she was going around and she was stabbing, like, angels that had already, like, died. But then she came up behind Adam and she stabbed Adam and she killed Adam.
And it's just like, stab.
That's why she's one of my favorite characters right there. Because she's stabby.
There was even a funny part in the show. They were trying to tell her about the plan, what they need to do. It's like, here, Nifty. Use this. If you see an angel, stab him. It's like, stab.
Yeah. So, the angels retreat, and then Charlie ends up rebuilding the hotel to a greater state alongside her friends and father. As the V's plot to take over Hell, Alistair hopes for freedom from a previous deal and control over Hell before reuniting with Charlie and her friends. Now, this part made me happy. Sir Pentious actually got to go to heaven.
And he's like, was it the two seraphs?
Yeah, it was Emily and Sarah, the two seraphims.
They were watching what happened, and they see Sir Pentious. They're like, Emily was happy, and was it Sarah?
Sarah, yeah.
Where it's like confused. Then Luke goes to see a woman on a beach, and it turns out, and she's like, no, Adam's dead. Our deal is done. And she's like saying, you gotta do something about your brat or daughter. And it turns out it was
Lilith.
Still a fucking alive.
Yep, sitting on a beach in heaven. So Lilith is still alive, so it did leave it on a cliffhanger. There is a second season in production. It said that there was a second, third, and fourth season in production. The second season, we are waiting for, it was announced back in September that there will be a second season to HAZBIN Hotel. If any of you are actually interested, there is a spinoff series called Hell of a Boss. That premiered in 2020. I have not seen it yet, but I know one of my friends is really into that one. He cosplays as one of the characters from that series. One of the female characters from that series.
Yep.
So, it says here, as of January 2024, HAZBIN Hotel was the largest global debut for a new animated series on Prime Video. In February 2024, the pilot episode surpassed 100 million views on YouTube. So like I said, I haven't seen it yet, or the pilot. I will be going and watching it. But other than that, that's pretty much the first season of HAZBIN Hotel. When the second season does come out, we will do a review on that one as well.
Yep, and I give the show an 8 out of 10.
I give it an 8 out of 10 too, yeah.
Yeah, because it's, like I said, the beginning was a little boring, but when it gets to the middle, it starts to pick up, being a little more better and everything. And like I said, my favorite songs are, well, Poison like hers, but it's also Loser Baby, and also the song that Miss Carmine sings with the Overlords, and it's pretty good.
So let's go ahead and we will get into next week's hint. So next week we're actually going to be talking about two different videos.
Yes.
Or two different movies, because they kind of go together. I'm only going to give you a line from one of the movies that we will be talking about, which is, never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. So, let's see if you guys can figure it out. But that is the end of this episode.
Yep.
Remember, we're trying to get up to 50 subscribers. Once we get up to 50 subscribers, we will show our face. So please spread this around. If you guys have any videos, any movies, any shows you want us to review, let us know in the comments below so we can get to it.
And like I said, we're almost running out of ideas. And please, like I said, do it. And if it beats our standard, I wouldn't say standards. If it's something that we can put in, we can do it. And hopefully we can find it, watch it, and hopefully maybe we can do something about it. And sorry if this has been an hour-long episode.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot that we had to get through, and plus we were going off topic quite a bit.
Kind of like a ADHD trail.
Oh, I was definitely my ADHD was definitely going going off the rails.
I think I have a little bit of it, but like I said, no offense to people who do have it.
I do have it.
Well, no offense.
I was diagnosed when I was like in ninth grade, or not ninth grade, when I was 9 years old. So.
I think I have it, but I might have to get that checked out.
You might have to, yeah. But anyways, just look forward to next week's episode, and we will talk to you then. Bye.